Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we are looking at Naya, Growers Not Showers. The reason that this deck is named this is because all of our creatures are designed to work with multiple growing techniques, but mostly putting counters on things. So I'm just going to work with this deck from the bottom up and talk about why I've designed it in this way. So, Tenacious Pup. Brilliant green 1-drop, I don't think this is up for debate. 1/2, gain 1 life when it enters the battlefield. When you cast your next creature spell, that creature enters with a 1/1 counter, a trample and vigilance counter. So it grows the next creature by 1, but also gives it trample and vigilance, which is definitely not to be sniffed at. We then are running 1 Klement, the Novice Acolyte. When Klement enters the battlefield, creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. The reason is, this isn't really all about Klement, but being able to grow our creatures perpetually is nice, so 1 copy of this legendary seems right in this deck. I'm then running 3 big spenders. These are 2/1s with Devil Citizen creatures with haste. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control become blocked, create a treasure token, sacrifice 2 artifacts and draft a card from its book. I mean, the book is a bit nonsense, but it's there if we have spare mana. 4 Molten Impacts as removal and 2 Ravenous Pursuits as removal. Molten Impact we use all the time, Ravenous Pursuit we use a little less often. This is 1 and a green sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Choose a creature card in your hand. It perpetually gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of excess damage dealt this way. The reason to shy away from this typically is that it's sorcery speed and it costs 2. However, if you are planning on having very big creatures lying around, this card is actually pretty good. And in this deck, that's exactly what we plan to have lying around, because we are running 4 of the new Patchplate Resolute. Now, this is an uncommon that was released in the latest Alchemy set. It costs 3 of any colour mana for a 3/3 artifact creature soldier. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, you get a boon with, when you cast your next creature spell, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. I'm not sure why they're called boons, but basically you get these little sort of emblems, one-use emblems effectively, that sit there and give us these 2/1/1 counters, basically. And it also has Unearth for 1 and a white. Why the Unearth cost is cheaper than the casting cost, I don't know. But effectively, over the course of this thing's lifespan, including its Unearth, we can get 4 1/1 counters onto other creatures we control for 5 mana, as well as getting a 3/3. So when you think about it like that, it's effectively 7 worth of power for 5 mana, which is pretty good, considering that we can flexibly assign that power based on our casting order of our creatures. The other nice thing about Patchplate Resolute is it goes very well with Fable, because Fable, obviously, we can discard 2 and draw 2 on the second chapter, so we can discard this without playing it first time and get it cheaper for its Unearth cost. So this is a very nice little combination to have around. So what creatures are we trying to buff with all these counters from Pup, Resolute, perpetual increases from this Pursuit and Resolute? Sorry, got confused by these 2 words being so similar. And with Klement, well, the answer is number 1, Halana and Alena. So this is the 4-costing 2/3 legendary human ranger with first strike and reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X 1/1 counters on another target creature you control where X is Halana and Alena's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. So if we buff Halana and Alena by 1, 2, 3 counters or so, it can then put like 3, 4 or 5 counters on another creature every single turn. So this can be a chain reaction of buffing, basically, with this card. And it's kind of this combination that led me to sort of building this deck in the first place. We then want some creatures that have sort of trample, really, to put the counters on, so that we don't just have a load of power being chump blocked endlessly, which could easily happen in Alchemy with cards like Xander's Wake around. And for that, we've got 2 copies of Fleetfoot Dancer, which is a 4-costing 4/4 trample, lifelink, haste. So if you can make this a 6/6, 7/7, 8/8, etc., it becomes very, very powerful indeed. And we've got 2 copies of the Workshop Warchief, which is a 5-costing 5/3 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, and when it dies, you get a 4/4 Rhino Warrior creature token. The reason that we're running these 2 is that they are non-legendary, so they're nice for copying with Fable. Workshop Warchief has nice enter and dies abilities. So in total, and they also pair well with A-Minsc and Boo, the Timeless Heroes. So I never really managed to make a good deck around A-Minsc and Boo when it first came out, but this feels like the right shell for it to me. So A-Minsc and Boo is a 5-costing Planeswalker with 3 starting loyalty, and when it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 hamster, legendary red hamster with trample and haste if you don't already have one. +1, put 3 1/1 counters on one target creature with trample or haste. So it's important that our sort of big payoffs have trample and or haste. And you'll notice that other creatures in this deck have that. So the Sunrise Cavalier has trample and haste as a 3/3. And then our big spenders have haste. So a lot of our creatures in this deck have trample or haste, so we shouldn't run out of targets for the +1 that aren't the hamster. And then -2, sacrifice a creature, and it does X damage to any target where X is that creature's power, and if it was boo, we get to draw a load of cards. So this is just a finisher, really, if the opponent's managed to put like a good blocker in the way, or a good lifelinker in the way, or whatever it is. At the top end, I'm then running 1 copy of Sanctuary Warden. This is just there really to give us some way of breaking stalemates. So if we put Sanctuary Warden in and copy it with Fable, we're going to have a very, very nice time indeed, spitting out more citizen tokens and drawing more cards. So that is the idea for the deck. In my playtesting, it has gone down pretty darn well. Being able to grow creatures this quickly seems like a very nice thing to do. It feels like we're at about the right level of removal with just these 6 cards. And yeah, it feels like we've got enough recursive threats, being able to keep buffing our creatures with Halana and Alena, A-Minsc and Boo, and being able to bring back the Resolute from the graveyard, the Warchief leaving behind a creature. You know, we've got some sort of board wipe protection built in there. So that's the deck. We are running 26 lands in the hope that we hit our land drops all the way through to the 3 and 4 and 5 drops, with 4 of them being Crossroads, giving us that scribe potential. So that is the deck. I'm going to try and use this to get up in the diamond rankings a bit today, and we'll see how far we get on when we run into some games. Let's have a go. Okay, here we go. Bullseye 7. Okay. I'm excited by this deck. I think it's got a high potential. Haven't playtested it a lot though, so we'll have to see how we get on. We do need a land. Now we definitely need one. Not really that one. Is it worth sacrificing big spender? No. Probably not. There'll be more pressing targets, like this thing. Anointed Shit Keeper. Human Cleric, Human Soldier. Yeah, Molten Impact. Costs 5. So we can just do this, I think. We'd obviously trade our big spender for the Peacekeeper. Because that enables us to actually use the Molten Impact again. This is just mono white. This is just good old fashioned mono white. So we've got 5. Tempted to just blast the Thalia. And then chuck the spender in. And attack. That'll probably go through because, yeah, they can't keep both Guardians alive, so. Right, Cables Reconstruction. That's not the end of the world. Yeah, attack with 1 and scry. Scry 2. We can have our Halana and Alena back for free, so. Not free. If we do this, we can use this on one of these, which could cost them a card. Patchplate Haste. This is so much quick damage, isn't it? It's just pain, 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 like flying down upon them. And because they have to block, we just get treasures. Gotta love Halana and Alena, eh? Gotta love them. Okay. Cathar on the 7/7. I could sacrifice it with Big Spender, but I think we'd rather have the chance of getting it back as a 5/5, to be honest. So Warchief's probably better than A-Minsc and Boo here, because it's going to be a 7/5 trample that we can then put 2 more counters on, make it a 9/7 trample. Oh, mono white. Come on. Come on. That was not the trickiest match. GG. Alright. First one was easy. Let's try another one. So the only white we have is in here. But that's okay, because we can play the Klement before the pup if we have to. Just one more creature that'll be a bit bigger. Have no need for the pup effect to be on Klement. Now we've got 4 creatures to be Klemented, which is quite nice. These work well with the +1/+1 because they're unearth. Don't know why we block that. Okay. Got our 4/4. So this specialises green as a 4/4 that creates a 4/4 when it dies. Oh, don't know why I'm looking at that anymore. Okay, so I think we'll go white here. That could be helpful. Then we'll have to give them 3 cards by killing this witch, but we can't leave it there forever. Now they've realised they should be blocking rather than attacking. The cards out of the wake are like, they're always creatures, so they are helpful as blockers, but they're not going to keep them going forever, especially once we start getting some trample going. These 2 will just be our core bashers to keep those creatures down. They won't be able to afford to keep playing them forever as well, hopefully. So we can play one of these. Actually a 3/4. I think we should Pursuit the Visitor and give that to the Warchief, so it's a 9/7. Yeah, you've got plenty of cards in your hand. Gonna start trying to get in for some damage here. So we've got 1 trampling creature. So let's just attack with everything and see what happens this time. We'll get him for something. Yeah, okay. Getting him for 10. More creatures, more creatures. And then we've got our 11-9 or whatever it is. Yep. 11-9 Trampler. Put one on top of your library. I'm not sure that's going to appeal too much. They don't need to be drawing creatures right now. No, didn't think so. 7 can go a long way. So 2 mana can kill this, but it does get replaced with a creature. This does damage to yourself. You can be careful. So they're probably holding mana to kill the Warchief, which is fine. Still going to have quite a bit of damage without that. Yeah. Not too much of a surprise. Still getting there. Maybe. And one more boon. Every creature comes with counters. So all we need is anything we got with haste, so Fleetfoot Dancer, Sunrise Cavalier, even A-Minsc and Boo would do. Big Spender, there's loads of good options that could come for us here. Halana and Alena would be good because we could then put 3 counters on this pup that's got trample. I mean, they could Meat Hook Massacre if they're running it. But then we would just bring this Resolute back and do 4 damage. Okay. Corrupt. Okay, I think that's going to do it for you. GG. Quite convincing again. Let's keep going. Next game. Freakazoid. Come to me, boy. Come to me. Not quite the hand we'd want, but it has got some good potential with the pup. Buffs going on Halana and Alena, something to buy us some time. We just need to draw another creature, really. Okay, that leads me to wanting to play this as green and untap it, so as not to cost us life, but also to give a little bit of life back. You never know what they're going to play. We might be able to... No. Okay. Good Molten Impact target. Anything that this would be good at blocking is a Swift Spear, and even then it's probably still dead, so we'll attack. Not dying this turn. And if we're not dying, we wouldn't be blocking. So we could play Klement next turn. Opponent's possibly struggling if they're doing play with fire to the face. So if we can get to turn 4, we might be okay. Just burning us out. Okay, I think we'll just Klement and do nothing. Hold back the pup in case it's a traumatic prank. Just soften a blow for us. Nope. Okay. That's not what they're meant to do. Yeah, the Klement can't block now this turn, but can block in future turns, and it's going to be a 7/7. Just don't top a traumatic prank, please. No, Dwarven Forge Chanter. So we can make this have lifelink, which I think is the way to go, although the Cavalier is tempting. That should seal the game for us more convincingly. GG. Okay, Homunculus's turn to feel the Naya Fury. This is a completely different hand really, but it's still got some promise. Green, white. Okay. This will probably be cycled unless we need it. Okay, we could need it, so we won't. So it's enchantments. We don't have very good enchantment removal. It's fair to say. Yikes. Reign of Truth. So 2/2 and a 4/4 at the moment. Thankfully that doesn't boost either of those, nor does that. So I think we would block that 4/4. Yeah, and they know it. So definitely time to play Halana and Alena. Make our Resolute that little bit bigger. Something to worry about. Now, what enchantments have you got in your hand? Borrowed Time. It's a curious one because they've got a 7/7, but they've got the Halana and Alena to deal with, so they have to deal with the Halana and Alena, I think. Otherwise this Warchief is going to be brutal. But maybe they want to get a big hit in. Nope. They got the right answer. And now they're finding another enchantment. Another Borrowed Time. That is annoying. So we'll play this on green perhaps. I think we won't attack. Force them to use the Borrowed Time on the Patchplate. You're going to take a big hit, but such is life. Okay, discard that one. That's interesting. See how much more removal our opponent's got, because that is what will get us. These camis we can, I think, eventually deal with, but Ugh. Yeah. That's a good game. Don't have the enchantment removal that we need, unfortunately. Might have to have a look at that if we run into this problem anymore. Next game. Missed the start, but we're against a Banshee this game. We need an untapped land, please, or we might end up too far behind. Bushwhack. So this is probably a Jostile deck. That's the only deck I've seen that card played in remotely reliably. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. Just the 2 creatures to buff, but still. What is going on here? Oracle of the Alpha. That old chestnut, eh? Five lands going on. Defiler of Vigor and Oracle of the Alpha. This really is something funky going on. Scry to the top. Oh dear. So we could play this anyway, but maybe we're better off specializing this with the Fable. And then impacting this. Not sure if this is a good or bad move, but we shall see. Whenever it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target, so we can bounce it back at the Defiler. Which has worked, okay? That is good. They could have played that first, but decided not to. Dig up. Just more lands. This is just a ramp deck. Hate to cheapen the deck, but I think although there are other options, cleaning the board of their creatures is the safest thing to do at the moment. Before we start our fun and games with Halana and Alena. So it's a 4/5, 4 counters on the Acolyte. And now the real fun begins. Good game. We can give a GG. They've got another turn. Infinite ways of digging that out of the graveyard. Surely not in this deck. Doesn't look like the right setup for it. Nope. Okay. Nice. Alright. Big dog. He is a big dog indeed at Diamond 1A. This will be good if we're playing against mono red, otherwise it won't be so good. Might not be so good, but let's see. I mean, that is a good Molten Impact target. Yep, good start. Dragon Spark Reactor. That's an interesting one to see. Don't see that every day. They're almost certainly running Fable themselves if they're running that. These two. No artifacts or creatures here, I'm afraid. Not your finest hour. Ditching the go for the throat. Right, let's throw 2 lands. For another Fable. Now it's looking quite promising. At least we can get rid of that, but they do know that. Get our Resolute in, and the next turn we can start copying this Warchief. Get ourselves out of the danger zone. Or not. But opponent is tapped out now. Ding ding ding. You might as well turn that treasure and this one that we have to sack anyway into a card. And then combat, if it attacked or blocked at velocity, 2 or more, sacrifice it, draw 2. This is just draw a card. Alright, we'll draw a card. Research desk, very nice with the reactor. Harvester and go for the throat. I think that's probably... oh, I think that's probably our reflection dead. We're going to get away with having a reflection for a turn by the looks of it. Good game. Yeah. Big dog down. We must nearly be at Diamond 2 ourselves. It's really slow at loading the ranks for some reason. There we go. Yeah, 1 game off. Alright. A8 and 8D. 8 and 8. 8 and 8. I don't know. Don't get that one. A8 and 8D. Another Diamond 1 final boss. We kind of want to top deck Halana and Alena so we can hit it with our Klement. Otherwise it's just going to be a 1 creature Klement. 1 creature Klement it is. Still 4/4 trample haste for 3 is not bad. Yuck. Do we get rid of the captain? No. Get rid of it next turn. Soldiers decks, eh? Subsumably it's soldiers. Really? Gonna give me 3 life for that. Wonder if they're struggling for land. It's probably using the Buy Elspeth's Command card or whatever it's called. Pairs quite nicely with this one. I was thinking about making a deck like that myself. Deep in thought about whether to attack with the captain. Come on, what do you think? What do you think? No. We'll ditch this for now. Yeah, probably just that one. I don't want to risk not getting allowed, so... maybe we do the Resolute while there's no blocker. Although then we can't sack it for a card out of the spells, but while I know they're not amazing, they're like, okay. Also, we could copy it with the Reflection. They've got mana screwed, it looks like. Yeah, GG. Your Captain Eberhard didn't carry you. Doesn't work that way. Okay, up to Diamond 2. Nice. Alright. Asator. Ooh, I don't like this. 2 pursuits and no creatures. 2 pursuits and no creatures again. But we have actually got an impact to buy us some time, so we can at least try this time. And Fable. Good for sorting our hand out, eh? No point playing the Brushland, to be honest. We're going to be against a go wide if we're against Naya. No. Okay, get our Fable down. Got our Resolute to throw away plus Brushland. Although, maybe we'll... Yeah, we'll definitely throw these two. To be honest, thought we would draw another land. We didn't, never mind. I think we won't play the Klement. Tough to know if we should play the Klement. No, we'll hold it. It just gets better value if we draw more creatures. Add a line. Yeah, we're finally getting the lands in as well. So, if we just kill this, and then we can put this in, next turn we can afford the Warden. And if we draw a land, we can afford the Warden and copy it as well. Take the Fable. Yeah, I thought they might. Interesting. So maybe we just get rid of the Cathar and get the... Yeah. So we can do like this. Get rid of that extra one. More treasure. I mean, it's having to stay light on creatures. I don't think we need to play this Fable, just not for 3 treasures. Glad we've managed to thin this out so much, or we'd be drowning in their creatures by now. There you go. That's an interesting one. I think we'll just throw this away. I know they can block the little token for free, but yeah, there we go, that's fine. Thought they might block the Klement instead. And yeah, I'll put this Resolute in. This is pretty much a force to behold, isn't it? Attacking so they can draw. Playing for this so we don't take a shield counter off of it. Two good options now to copy with Warchief. To copy with both options, the Warchief and the Warden. White. Don't need any more land now, thank you. And Alena. Yeah, get to draw. But you have just removed your blocker for the Warden. Guess we could find a Kafar now. Darians are not going to do it for you. Good game. Easy. This deck, man. This deck is solid. We've had all sorts of array of starting hands and they've all come through. I'm loving it. Okay, quick a look at the stats for those that are into that type of thing. This deck is a beast. It's the answer. We've played 13 matches, not all of them in the video. I think I played 8 in the video. There was a few warm-up games for me, but 11 and 2. So an 85% win rate, and it doesn't seem to matter if we're on the plate or on the draw. That's 13 games in an hour as well. You can see the sharp climb effect that this deck is having on my score. So that tells you one use for the deck. Just having a look at the things that we've played against, the only losses we've had were white, green, Selesnya, and red. So the red is going to happen sometimes. Red is just that fast in Alchemy that you can always lose to it. However, I still think we're decent against red. Pup is red's worst nightmare because it gains life and puts a 2 toughness blocker in the way. Molten Impact is brilliant against red because it can clean up multiple of their small creatures. Even Ravenous Pursuit is good against red because they've got very little instant speed removal. So yeah, I think against red we're typically pretty well positioned, and according to this we're pretty well positioned against everything else. Possible changes to the deck. Don't know if we need our Warden, although in that last game it did help massively, and it is just nice to have that top end that you can rely on. Obviously Fable is a banger. The Patchplate Resolute I think is my MVP of the deck. It's put in so much work in these games that I really can't fault it. I mean, what a card in the right shell. I've tried it in a few other shells and it hasn't been anywhere near as good, but if you're gaining something material off of buffing your next creature, like with Halana and Alena, this is a solid card. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you can have a little play around with this deck, maybe make your own version of it. Let me know how it goes. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everyone, especially if you've made it this far through the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.